Thank you so much for watching. Thank you. Have you subscribed? Yes, you. Have you subscribed? You. Yeah, before you go, click. It's free. Click. Just that's it. Have you subscribed? You are laughing. Have you subscribed? Have you subscribed? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, madam, thank you so much. I can see you. We have to get to 100,000 subscribers. By the end of the year, how are we going to do that if you don't subscribe? Yes, you. Yes, you're about to click off. Why? Have you subscribed? It's free. If you don't, ask your son, ask your daughter how to. Just one click. Thank you. Thank you. I see you. Aha. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow. Hello, my people. LEMFI, the International Money Transfer Service, is here to provide you with a simple and efficient money transfer experience with no fees and the best rate in the industry. If you are in the US, UK, and Canada, LEMFI is here to serve you and help you transfer money to over 21 countries. In all ramifications, they are better than their competitors. We at the Dr. Damages Show are happy to partner with them to satisfy your needs. To that end, anyone who signs up with them using the referral code DOCTOR will get $30 cash back the first time you send $100 or more. From now until July 10th, 2024, LEMFI will enter your name into a raffle draw where you can win an iPhone, Apple Watch, MacBook, gift cards, and others. For an icing on the cake, the first 20 people to use Dr. Damages code DOCTOR will get a signed copy of one of his books, This American Life Safe or Chimamanda, The Adventures of Little Mermaid's African Cousin.
Christian nationalists walk around with a mouthful of scripture and a heart full of hate. Don't tell me what you believe. Show me how you treat other people, and I'll tell you what you believe. Jesus didn't tell us to love our churches. He didn't tell us to love our doctrines and our creeds. He didn't even tell us to love our scriptures. He told us to love our neighbors. And there was no exception to that commandment. Love thy neighbor, regardless of race, class, gender, sexual orientation, or immigration status. One of my favorite theologians, Barbara Brown Taylor, once wrote, "The only clear line I draw these days is this: when my religion tries to come between me and my neighbor, I will choose my neighbor. Jesus never commanded me to love my religion." You know what's interesting? Not once in the entire Bible does Jesus ask us to worship him. All he asks is that we follow him. Love like he loved. Love the outcast. Welcome the stranger. Feed the hungry. Heal the sick. Free the oppressed. As the hymn says, they will know we are Christians by our love. We have to get back to that.
Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, depending on your geographical location. Thank you for joining me this wonderful Tuesday. It is good for the eyes to actually behold the sun, and it is the living. A dog is better than a dead lion. So it's good to what? To be alive today. This is more or less a continuation of what I discussed about on Sunday for our learning, but the topic for today is the humiliation. Some of us may have suffered or been humiliated in publicly or in private, and we know what that feeling is. Just a recap of uh, Sunday's discussion that the exclusive right to revenge belongs to God. I'm here to say again that the exclusive right to humiliate anybody equally also belongs to God. I don't have the right to humiliate you, neither do you have that right to humiliate him. However, for some of us, or for some of you who have been humiliated either in private or in public, it's just to let you know that there is an unfailing strength to bear this humiliation. Now, and for those of us who have humiliated people or loved ones, apology can't take it back, can't change it, can't rewrite or change the feeling. How to make amends? Sometimes we don't know. And the reason why we must avoid humiliating someone is because we don't have that strength. We can't provide that person that strength to bear it. We cannot. We can apologize. We can do anything we want to do. But that individual or the individuals are the only one that knows how they feel. They are the only one that will go through it. And truth be told, for those of you, those of us who have been humiliated, there is an unfailing strength to bear it. Suicide is never the option or a better option to run away from humiliation. And for those of us who humiliate, we must also understand that these things drive people at times to do things they are not supposed to do. So we have to balance it up. The only person that have that exclusive right to humiliate anyone is God. Because why? He is the one that will equally give me or you that unfailing strength. What? To bear it. This is about those who have suffered and are likely to suffer the humiliation because, truth be told, uh, you can't help it. I can't help it at times. I can't stop it. It's part of life. It has come to stay. My prayer is that nobody should be subject or should be humiliated. Have I humiliated people before? Of course. Have I been humiliated? Of course. But it's for us to do better today. And again, to the same person or persons I reference to in the last on Sunday's discussion or talk was David. He was humiliated publicly by God Himself. He was humiliated publicly. What? By God Himself. And it is the same God that gave him strength to bear, that unfailing strength to bear what? That humiliation. Hence, I said, nobody has that exclusive right except God to what? To humiliate anyone. And the focus will be how we humiliate our loved ones. And why should we refrain from doing such, even when we become privy of that, of whatever they did? Because why? The aftermath of it, I don't have control of it. Neither do you have what? Control of that. However, if it is God that humiliated me based on whatever act I may have committed, He also has that strength. He will provide me that strength also to bear that humiliation. And this is what he did. He told David, you did your deed in secret. I'm doing mine with what? With the whole country watching. Now, that is a public humiliation. In present day, it's going to be on social media. For his act, for his atrocity, he was able to accept the judgment of God. Now, begs the question as to how can I discern that this or my act or your act, how can we discern that our actions of what? Of hurting someone, what we are going through is the judgment of God. I don't know. I can't discern that for you. Only you can discern that for yourself to know that what you are experiencing is as a result of what? Of the harm or hurt you caused somebody at the end of the day. And David's action is appalling. Again, may I remind us the purpose of recorded events in the Bible or history is that we learn from it. On Friday, we'll be doing History 101. The purpose of recorded events in the Bible is that we may learn from it. The action of David is the story still being told today and will be told in the coming years as long as the earth remains. We must not ignore history. Ignoring history is ignoring it at our own peril. History is important. So if we ignore it, we're ignoring it at our own peril. And that is why history is history. It's recorded for you and I to learn from it. So in the case of David, he was humiliated publicly by God, not by man. And this often happens in present time that we live in, that we take to either gossiping or take to social media to humiliate the person that hurt us directly or indirectly. To humiliate someone whom we have privy to their information or their act or their atrocity they may have committed. While we may say we're trying to teach people lesson, truth be told, we're not teaching anybody lesson, any lesson in that regard. You often hear that those who live in glass houses don't throw stones. Actually, every one of us live in a glass house, and I'm going to prove that later on. Every one of us lives in a glass house, not some people. So if we refrain from this publicly humiliating one another, this message is for those particularly who have suffered humiliation and will suffer humiliation later on, that there is an unfailing strength there to bear this humiliation and not to resort to anything stupid, for want of better word. I imagine myself standing among the men who wants to stone the woman caught in the act of adultery, to publicly humiliate her. It is also very possible that some of the men standing there, one of the men standing there, could be the one that committed that atrocity with her. Public humiliation. Remember, no one have that unfailing strength to give to her except what? Except God. And here it is when I say we all live in a glass houses. Jesus Christ said, let him that hath no sin cast the first stone. You see, we all live in a glass house. Meaning at one point or the other in our life, we have committed atrocity or we have committed something. So what right have we got to publicly humiliate someone? And often this happens between couples where relationship goes sour, where either the man or the woman did something that society frowns at. And the next thing we do is we go on what? On social media, taking pictures and videos to publicly humiliate that person. But what we fail to understand is there's what we call uh, a spiral effect. There's a particular word I want to use, just escape my mind. This effect don't just stop there. It goes on. So ask yourself a question, and I ask myself also that question. At the end of the day, what did I benefit from publicly humiliating this person besides self-gratification? What will it change? What will it change? That person that I public humiliated may go ahead to be a better person than me in life. That's just the fact of the matter. We go ahead, tapped into that unfailing strength given only by God, and be a better person, well, than me at the end of the day. So before we may take any action of humiliating anyone, we're going to, listen, mistakes will be made, intentionally or non-intentionally. None of us should live under that illusion. Sorry, I acknowledge you in the chat section, Jen Ogo. I greet you also. Augustine Okpara, greetings to you as well too. If you can expatiate more on what you said, what you are saying correct about, that would be nice. Greetings to you again, Jen Ogo. So here we are today. That the exclusive right to humiliate anyone belongs to what? Belongs to God. Because why? Only him have the strength. He told David, the thing you did in secret, I'm doing mine with the whole country, the whole world watching. Now, not all act is as that of David. I need to clarify that. So we must not run with it to say, oh, that means if I do this act, this is what we no, no, no. Not all atrocity or act is that like that of David. We must put that of David into context, which is he abused his office. He what? He abused his office by taking advantage of the weak. What happened behind closed door between himself and Bathsheba? We don't know. How, whether it was willingly or forcefully, but given to what is recorded, it wasn't willingly from her because he made inquiry who she is. So there was no issue of friendship between both parties. So that, as such, we can safely conclude that it was forceful and abuse of power and office. And as such, the child she had died. So, but not all such situation. Just as I stated, I highlighted the woman caught in the act of the adultery that appears in John chapter 8 or 10, if I'm correct, but in the book of John. Some are consensual, so you cannot compare it or say it's the same thing. But whatever it is, or whichever it is not in anyone's right to humiliate anybody. The exclusive right to humiliate someone belongs to God. And we've seen relationships never come back again that would have, under normal circumstances, that would have been able to come back, but never, ever was restored back again because of what? The public humiliation I subjected you to, or you subjected me to, or they subjected themselves to. Sometimes it's just better to walk away, I keep saying, when you are hurt, than to go to the public space to humiliate someone. Because you know what you just did? By the time you get back to somebody or you hook up with somebody, that history is there. It's never deleted. I will remember that. Oh, you once humiliated your partner in public. What would that not happen to me again? You can actually do the same thing to me. You can do the same thing to me. I can't do the same thing. If I humiliated you in public, there is a likely chance that I will do it again with somebody else. Except I become a changed person. But it's often rare. So the point of this message going forward is actually for those who are hurting, not necessarily for those who carried out the act, because it can't be taken back. Am I excusing them? Never. Would they apologize? They should apologize. But most public humiliation, apology don't change anything. Apology will not bring back that dignity. Like I said, some go as far as committing suicide. We saw the case of Ahithophel, who carried out or who wanted to revenge David. And here is a caution for every one of us. Some revenge or public humiliation that we may want to carry that will backfire on us. Because everybody will turn against you. Everybody will know you. And everyone will start to avoid you. Everyone will start. Nobody will want to be your friend. No matter how much you try to justify what that person did against you, that you went as far as to want to humiliate the person, or you as far as you went to humiliate the person. There is a better way. In the context of relationship, even if the person is wrong, even if the person is what? Is wrong. If my action is wrong that made you to humiliate me, is still not enough excuse or justification for me to humiliate you or to plan to humiliate you back. You did this to me, I will do this to you. Tit for tat now. The only person that have that exclusive right to revenge is God. The only person that have that exclusive right to humiliate anyone is equally God. I've seen there. As I highlighted, God said he is going to humiliate David in open sight. And one of the judgments is his son slept with 10 of his concubines in open sight. He was running for his life. But he was still an honorable man. And when he came back to find out, he still what? He still did what? He still took care of them till death. Someone said, like the one the lawmaker did to the one, yeah, that is publicly humiliating the driver. We don't know what he did, what the driver did to him. However, people took pictures of it. You can't control social media. I heard he has apologized, but he ain't going to change the humiliation he has put that driver through. And I hope the driver tap into the unfailing strength to be able to bear that humiliation. That record will not go off the name of the lawmaker. It will always be seen in that light, even if he repented. That is the danger of us causing people's harm. Even if we repented, most will not believe. Only God will believe. People will still be cautious about us. We have this cautious approach in dealing with us. But in the context of relationship, particularly between the man and the woman, the brother and a sister, father and daughter, in that context. Because the story I highlighted is about relationship. The deed David did was against his own best friend and counselor, was against his own, one of his army that was out in the forefront fighting, defending the nation. It was one of the, I believe, one of the 10 special strongmen in his army, according to recorded history. Right. But this is it. Don't think people don't know the act that you do, that evil act of humiliating people. People know. If you've ever suffered humiliation before, driven you to that point of committing suicide, then you will understand what I'm talking about. Humiliation destroys relationship that could have been saved if I have kept my mouth shut. I know I talk a lot, and you talk a lot. We all talk a lot. We think it's fun. And it just slipped out, and that is it. In open space, and it's gone. It can't be taken back again. So we have to tread carefully. Again, like I said, the focus is on those who have been humiliated, either in public or in private, but primarily in public. And for us to refrain, not to be tempted to go that way, because it may happen to us. We all live in a glass house. Let him that had no sin cast the first stone. I was explaining to I asked a friend, tell me, what was Christ referring to there? Let him that had no sin cast the first stone. Remember, he wasn't specific as to what sin is it. Is it possible that there are people in this life never committed adultery before? 100%. Is it possible for there are people who have never committed fornication or never stole or never take something that doesn't belong to them? 100% correct. There are people like that in this life. After all, Mary the Virgin was a virgin and she got pregnant. John did not want to put her in disgrace, so he wanted to hide, he wanted to protect her. He didn't want her to suffer any public humiliation from getting pregnant, being a virgin, and is not responsible for that. That is an honorable man. But there's one thing, if you disagree with me, give me the evidence. There's one sin I will say every one of us have committed. Every one of us. That hence I said, Jesus said, let him that have no sin. Remember, it is God that knows not. If God, according to a section of the Bible that say, if he considered iniquity, who shall stand? You and I cannot stand. We all, at one point or the other in our life, have lied. Whether you call it white lie, black lie, purple lie, pink lie, jelly lie, at one point or the other in our existence on planet Earth here, we have lied. That is my argument to say that that is what Christ was referring to. I may not have committed adultery. I may not, but trust me, we all have lied at one point or the other. So before you throw that stone or publicly humiliate that person, take a step back. You live in a glass house too. We all live in a glass house. So these are the things we will have to look at. Don't forget, this, you will find it in 2 Samuel verse 12, verse 12. The story of the woman caught in the act of adultery with the same man. You find it in John chapter 10. And as we go in this direction to help us to be a better person, you hurt somebody, reach out to the person. All you can say is, I am sorry. And as Christ said to the woman, go and sin no more. Also, we must also not do that again, meaning we must refrain from humiliating other people. Some of us do it for the sake of pleasure. Some of us do it for fame. Some of us do it for subscribers, for views, for different things. Whatever we do it for doesn't make it right. Again, I repeat, in the context, let the law take its course. Now, this is, I said I don't do theology, and I respect those who do theology. The reason why I don't do theology is because of this. Recorded event is for us to learn. I respect those who do theology. I want to do life, or I'm doing life experience taken from that wonderful book. You saw the video I played earlier. I'm going to play it again before I continue, for us to watch, for us to listen to. Why would I subject you to public humiliation if you are my neighbor? And this is where we get things wrong at times, or we don't understand things that your wife, your husband, your girlfriend, your brother, your sister, whatever the person may be in the context of, is equally your neighbor. In fact, more than a neighbor, because you share blood at times. We can argue a neighbor is not somebody you blood related. So if a neighbor is not somebody, for argument's sake, is not blood related, how much more somebody that you are blood related or you are connected to by emotions, by this? Why would you want to subject them to public humiliation?
Christian nationalists walk around with a mouthful of scripture and a heart full of hate. Don't tell me what you believe. Show me how you treat other people, and I'll tell you what you believe. Jesus didn't tell us to love our churches. He didn't tell us to love our doctrines and our creeds. He didn't even tell us to love our scriptures. He told us to love our neighbors. And there was no exception.
As you can see, he told us to love our neighbors. And that is what we will do. It's never too late. There are things I just came to learn in my life, in this my 50-something years life that I have lived. And I said to myself, that phrase, it's never too late to start, to pick up, to change. It's never too late. Never too late. So as we go in this direction again, for the purpose of emphasis, please, the unfailing strength to bear it, it's out there for you. The unfailing strength coming from God to bear that out, that humiliation, that disappointment, that embarrassment that humiliation has caused. To an extent, you may lose your job. You may have lose your relationship. There is an unfailing strength out there from God for you to bear it and to be back on your feet again. Because you know what? I that humiliated you, I'm not better than you. There is an unfailing strength to bear it. And may God help us as we go in this path of not humiliating one another in open space. The damage it caused, I don't have that strength to give you. I don't have that unfailing strength to give to you. I can only tell you, I will be here for you. I'll be there for you. But that strength for you to carry it every day on your own, I don't have it. I may hate you for humiliating me. I shouldn't. You may hate me for humiliating me. You shouldn't hate me. Rather, Ahithophel, to tap on that unfailing strength for him to bear what David did to his granddaughter and his granddaughter husband, Uriah. He failed. And I said this again, he is described as a man when he gives advice. So he gives advice as one who speaks as an oracle of God. And I'm going to highlight this. For those of us who think we are that better than any person in life, that we are better than anyone in life. And we think our advice, we have everything there. No matter how good and perfect a person or his work may be, there's always another who can do better or make some people think so. So we must keep our arrogance in our pocket. Keep it in our pocket. Even if you give advice and your advice have saved the world or can save the world, keep that arrogance in your pocket. This is coming from me. Keep the arrogance or the arrogancy inside your pocket because there's someone who will do better or who can do better than you. Thank you for listening, for joining. I hope to be back here tomorrow. I'll be back on Sunday for sure. The all things being equal, God willing. On Friday, we'll be having a debate on what? On History 101. Has the black man used history to his advantage? Or how has a black man used history to what? To his advantage? That's the question that will be posed on us. On Saturday, the women's segment will be back again. I will be moderating there. We'll be talking about the US election. We'll be concluding on what we did last week, Saturday, focusing on culture, how our culture has actually favored the woman. We'll be concluding that on Saturday. Then on Sunday, I will be back here again, I believe around 2 p.m. in the afternoon, Nigerian time, West African time. We'll be back at 2 p.m. So don't forget what I said. It's very important. The exclusive right to humiliate anyone is God, not me, not you. The exclusive right to revenge is God, not me, not you. And for those who have suffered humiliation, for those of us, for those of you who have suffered humiliation and may likely suffer it in the future, there is an unfailing strength out there from God to what? To bear it. I think there's a saying that says, give me grace, the solitude or the grace to bear what I can't change. I'll look for that quotation. So if I'm back here tomorrow, hopefully I'll be back here tomorrow. I will be touching on another sensitive matter, still in the same subject line, unfailing strength to what? To bear it. It is a sensitive subject, but it is one that needs to be spoken about. And on Sunday, we will continue. And no particular day I will be coming in on until such time that I can no longer come in again. Have a lovely evening and what? And be good. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Thank you. Have you subscribed? Yes, you. Have you subscribed? You. Yeah, before you go, click. It's free. Click. Just that's it. Have you subscribed? You are laughing. Have you subscribed? Have you subscribed? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, madam, thank you so much. I can see you. I can see you. We have to get to 100,000 subscribers. By the end of the year, how are we going to do that if you don't subscribe? Yes, you. Yes, you're about to click off. Why? Have you subscribed? It's free. If you don't, ask your son, ask your daughter how to. Just one click. Thank you. Thank you. I see you. Aha. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow. Hello, my people. LEMFI, the International Money Transfer Service, is here to provide you with a simple and efficient money transfer experience with no fees and the best rate in the industry. If you are in the US, UK, and Canada, LEMFI is here to serve you and help you transfer money to over 21 countries. In all ramifications, they are better than their competitors. We at the Dr. Damages Show are happy to partner with them to satisfy your needs. To that end, anyone who signs up with them using the referral code DOCTOR will get $30 cash back the first time you send $100 or more. From now until July 10th, 2024, LEMFI will enter your name into a raffle draw where you can win an iPhone, Apple Watch, MacBook, gift cards, and others. For an icing on the cake, the first 20 people to use Dr. Damages code DOCTOR will get a signed copy of one of his books, This American Life Safe or Chimamanda, The Adventures of Little Mermaid's African Cousin.
Christian nationalists walk around with a mouthful of scripture and a heart full of hate. Don't tell me what you believe. Show me how you treat other people, and I'll tell you what you believe. Jesus didn't tell us to love our churches. He didn't tell us to love our doctrines and our creeds. He didn't even tell us to love our scriptures. He told us to love our neighbors. And there was no exception to that commandment. Love thy neighbor, regardless of race, class, gender, sexual orientation, or immigration status.